Good day, St. Mark's. Pastor Gus, St. Mark's Lutheran Church, Coral Gables. Today I'd like to speak to you about the theme, Thank You, God, for the Work. Each of us is coping with our reactions to the coronavirus in different ways. Our opinions and reactions are based on our own circumstances, how our health and business are faring, how much money we have in the bank, where we are sheltering in place and with whom we are sheltering, how our loved ones are faring, and so much more. And because while we are all being affected by the same crises, we are not being affected in the same ways. A couple thoughts on this may help us reflect on this a little bit more clearly. For instance, I do believe we've often heard it said we're in the same boat, but it's really not like that. We are in the same storm, but not in the same boat. Your ship could be shipwrecked and mine might not be, or vice versa. For some, quarantine is optimal, a moment for reflection, a moment for reconnection, each in flip-flops. Maybe a time for a cocktail, maybe a time for coffee. For others, this is a desperate financial and family crisis, and a mental health crisis or a combination thereof. Some are safe in their homes, while others must go into the front line and face the virus head on. And even within the same family, we each experience a storm in different ways. For example, you might be working from home, but your significant other has to go out each day to the workplace. He or she comes home to the same shelter, but he or she has to spend his or her days doing very different things, dealing with very different problems. And even though you may both share your lives together, you are in the same storm, but not in the same boat. It's the same for others in your family and your friends. You and each of them are experiencing this crisis in very different ways. Each of them is dealing with their situation in their own way, with their own problems and concerns, with their own solutions. And continuing to care for those around you requires that we understand what others are going through. Not what you think they're going through, or not what you would do if you were them, but actually what they are feeling, what they're thinking, and what they're doing. And what's the easiest way to find this out? It's simple, just ask them. Drop them a note. Send them a text or an email. Give them a call. Ask them how they are. Ask them what they're going through. Ask them how they're feeling. Ask them how they're coping. And then do two more things that I might be so bold to say. Maybe just shut up and listen to what they're telling you. Really listen. Don't editorialize. Don't correct. Don't try to help. Don't try to demonstrate how smart you are. Just listen. And if you do this sincerely and properly, most people will tell you exactly what they need. And more importantly, they will tell you what they want. Your work then becomes figuring out how to use what you know and what you can to help them become who they want to be. Thanks to the coronavirus crisis, that's now your job and my job. That's the work God has given us to do, not because we have asked to do this work, but because this is what God has called us to do when we are asked to love God, to love one another, just as we love ourselves. In closing, I share with you this writing entitled, Thank You, God, for Work. It's probably best that I don't think on why I'm here or where it hurts. I'm just lucky to have the work. On Sunday mornings, I may not be able to go to worship, but I thank God that I can worship through work, the work that God has called me to do, the work that He calls me to be my sisters and my brother's keeper, to be Jesus one to another. God, I thank You for the work. Have a great week. Stay safe. Stay well.